So I'm coming to the end of the first week of my art residency, and I thought I would just do a little video update each week, more for myself, just to talk through what I'm thinking, what I'm working on. It might be of interest to other people, but it might not be. I came with the thought, initially when I applied, I planned to paint out every day, capture the landscape, the trees. I hadn't really realised that the Waratahs and the spring flowers would be out, because at the time I didn't know what month I would be accepted, if I would even be accepted. And so leading up to closer to the time, I actually started to feel, a bit burnt out and a bit bored with what I was painting. And I have really wanted to spend some time introducing some more fluoro colours into my work. It probably sounds really silly, but some really bright colour, and I had been starting to test whether I could underwash that with watercolour, but I hadn't really had the time to work on it. So what I decided for this month-long program was that I was going to play. I'd never take the time for that at home. Never, ever, ever. Really. Everything is generally for purpose. It's a certain theme or something that would suit a gallery or a specific space or an exhibition, something that I've got coming up, a commission, class projects. There's nearly always a purpose to it. And so I thought this is the perfect opportunity actually just to try and work on that theme of brighter colour that I've been really wanting to work on. So not necessarily the colour that the thing is or that the environment is. Anyway, I came up, and the month leading up with my class, we've been painting flowers direct, and the local Waratahs are out. And I got here, and the Waratahs in the back, directly in the back garden are incredible. This town just has the right soil and right environment for them. They're quite elusive in a lot of areas. So I was really inspired the first day. I wanted to just start painting a big Waratah. But before I came, I actually printed out some affirmations for myself, and they're around the room. I showed them in an earlier video, I think. So one says, make it experimental. Another is, it does not need to be cohesive. So I don't need to leave here with a cohesive body of work like I originally planned. Another one says, it does not have to be saleable, for something, work, Insta-worthy, or of value. And another one says, does it spark joy? So I'm keeping these in mind. So this piece, initially, I'm testing for the first time painting on, I think it's called Langford. It's paper mounted onto a board. I bought them a long time ago, I haven't painted on them. So that is experimental in that fact. It's also experimental in that I'm adding some ink over it. I had to test first whether I would paint first with the ink and then add the watercolour, or whether the ink needed to be the last layer. And I'm also planning to add colour pencil and a bit of scribbly line work through it to loosen it up. So in my head this week, and last night in particular, coming to the end of the last week, I thought, have I done enough? And this is really difficult for me to just slow down, not have to produce anything specific, work on things that I want to work on. And I started to realise I'd gotten sidetracked, I'd gotten off track of what I had thought I wanted to do while I was here. So I came up with a different plan a little bit last night at 1 AM while I was still lying awake thinking about it. But anyway, I'm going to show you where I'm at for this first week's work. So I'm nearly finished this large scale Waratah flower. Resoundingly on Instagram, everybody's saying no background. So fun, I've got the final layers, which are fun. There's two other little pieces there with the pink background. So that was a part of testing out pre-wash with no intention of what I would be doing. The treescape is water-soluble graphite painted on site down at Defore's Rocks Lookout. And then there's one that's a little bit of shadow play, and I'm not sure whether that's working yet or not. I was playing with the Karataki Ganzai, I've lost the plot. Gansai Tambi watercolors, which are kind of almost gouache, but anyway, the lesson in that was they really don't move the same as watercolor in terms of softening edges, so it didn't probably work as well in the early layout as what I had intended. So also, since I've been here, I'm working in my sketchbook. So first day, unpacked the studio, raced outside to stand and paint the Waratah that's just in the backyard. It was a different shape to ones that I've seen before and slightly different colours. Here's me testing the colours for the large one, testing the ink that I brought with me and whether the watercolour over the top moved it or not. This also is how I'll often do a little map if I've set up some colours in a palette in order to remember what's where. So it's a little floral palette like this, and I do my little spots and I write the colours. Sometimes I'm testing different things down here, testing whether watercolour over the pencil changes the pencil lines. So that told me I need to wait till the very end to put my colour pencil on, my fluorescent pink in particular. So I went down to pick up a few things from Bill Pen and had a pizza at the Hillbilly Cider brewery, and so I just did a little sketch while I was there. This kind of thing's perfect when you're traveling solo because you don't feel so uncomfortable eating out. You can just grab your sketchbook and be focused on something while you're eating and drinking. And in this sketchbook, this is the one I was working on with my class earlier in the month, and everything we were doing was painting direct, so no pencil. So I continued that theme, which again, back to my make it experimental, I've never done direct watercolor with a scene, so this was experimental in that fact, in that style. I've done it with florals and with chickens and birds and things, but not landscapes. So, and a very busy landscape, so it was a bit trickier. These two were just painted down the backyard with my visiting arty friends Melissa and Julie. The next day we went to the Breenhold Gardens up here at Mount Wilson, and I was just drawn to the light of this scene, but I really didn't capture it very well. It's a bit too dappled. I need to pull that back and darken some of those light greens. Now, so last night's decision was to get back to this idea of colour, and I decided what I needed to do was pick a photo from my excursion yesterday, do a tonal sketch, so this is just markers, then do a classic, just a quick colour study, traditional, typical watercolour, and then I'm starting now on a brighter version that will not necessarily have any realistic colour sense to it. So I've just put an underwash of fluorescent-y kind of orange pinks and things, and I'll come back to that once I've done the video and probably later this afternoon. But I also want to show you, I'll just have to change the video to show you the print process things that I've been doing with the printing press. This fabulous, enormous printing press, which I'm very lucky to have, and this magnetic wall. So here's some of my affirmations. I'm also taking notes as I go along, because at the end of the month I'll do an artist talk for the local community and whoever wants to come along. And I also wanted to keep a track of myself. So I've got one sheet that says, was it experimental? So each of the paintings or things that I'm doing, I'm making a note there, what I did. And then over here, my findings and thoughts. A big tick if it worked, happy face, cross if it didn't work or I didn't like it. And some notes there. Also keeping a track of inspiration, because I've got so many different subjects and things that I've photographed since being here. And these were my first attempts at printmaking, which I shared a little bit of on Instagram. So I haven't quite got the rollers even. So you can see almost up here, it's a little bit embossed, but here the ink didn't fully, the texture of the paper showing through. The ink hasn't pressed in as much. So I think I've got the roller set right now for my next run of printing. this was the ghost print. So after I did this one, I just put this little piece of coloured paper that I had tinted on to see how that would work out with a coloured background. And that was of this little flower that my lovely host has given me a bunch of. So etched onto or not etched, I don't know what you call it really. It's a mono print, I think, a monotype. And this one, because I didn't have this right here, I thought, you know, I'll just roll it back forward, back forward, back forward, and hope for the best. Make sure that this bottom part, I was tightening it a little bit each time to try and make sure that that I was correcting it. But anyway, the top came out like the dappled light that I was hoping to intend around the trees. But all I did, this was all tree ferns, and I had scratched out some lovely texture like this for leaf shapes. But all I did was just push all the ink in. Afterwards, I tried to lift some with a corner of a credit card. So my learning from this is next time I need more mid-tone. So I've got a lot of light and a lot of really dark. So the next sort of dappled tree scene with the printing press, I will try and get more mid-tone. And then I did a little charcoal study last night, which I hated. So this one got a big cross here. And I hated it partly because I had textured paper. And I think really you need smooth paper for charcoal. And that was where I realised I'm off track. Well, I bought the charcoals in case I wanted them. It's going to just take me away from the plan of what I'm hoping to do while I'm here and the inspiration that I have been capturing in my phone. So hopefully I will have more to show you soon. Actually, no, I don't necessarily need more to show you, do I? I just need to have played and experimented and have the the notes to go back over of what I've realized, what I've learned, what I would change next time, and go from there.